Started.
All right, now we're recording. Okay, so I'm gonna come in with the.
I'm recording.
Waveforms look good.
Are you recording? Because I am.
Yeah, I'm recording.
Guys, I'm recording. Is everyone else recording?
Yeah, I'm recording.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, that was pretty in sync. That was good.
All right, yeah.
Just got to get it out of the system.
Okay.
But
Oh my God, what happened? Where are we? What is this? Is this Spotify? No, it's iTunes.
No, it's
Wait.
Spotify for me.
it's dark here. Is
Oh.
it Spotify?
I guess it varies. Welcome back to the Smallz Talk Podcast. Been a bit of a minute here. Been a bit of a minute, and I apologize. Okay. Jacques also apologizes,
Deeply.
but we lost one of our members. Not in any sort of death. Don't you worry. He's fine. But Sam is moving on to different opportunities in his life. So, we had fun with him. We'll miss him, but we got somebody new. And his name is Dan. Dan, you there, bud?
Hi.
Oh, hello, little fella.
Hi, my name's Dan. I'm gonna make a podcast.
That makes me so uncomfortable, like seeing your body, like with that voice.
So, Daniel,
Yes.
how did we meet?
I think through big, multi-thousand-pound vehicles with
Right.
tires attached to them. Big chunks of metal with rubber.
Okay, so the car scene.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, one of the greatest things. Actually, I think the first day we met is when I rolled up to a car meet with. It was like summertime, and I still had
The
studded
snows.
snows on my car.
Is that a tank?
Yes. So, yeah, Dan, it's good to have you here, man. I think I at least like to have years worth of chemistry between people to bring them onto the podcast. And you're I don't know, man. We've just had that. We've clicked for a long time. Ever since that snow-studded day, we we've really just hit it off, man. We really just hit it off. So welcome.
Thank you.
And so we've had Dan lined up for like a while, and it just seemed like this gigantic landslide of bullshit that just hit us. Because I feel like we got Dan lined up. We were gonna do a podcast before you went on your trip,
Yeah.
and that didn't happen for some reason. Why didn't that happen? I forget.
I think it was just timing with everything. I don't think it was necessarily one thing that prevented us from doing it.
Right.
I think we got Dan's audio stuff all set up like a day or two before I left.
Yeah. So we
So-
didn't have time to
Right, it was kind of like a
prepare
narrow window to get something in the slate.
That's right. So, I mean, okay, well, yeah, so that happened. It took us a while to figure out whether Sam was in or out.
Yeah.
And, that took us a minute to figure out. So it's just been a while, and it feels real good to be back. Feels real good.
When's the last time we recorded?
Actually, you know what? I want to check that.
I think it was like 2 months ago.
Hold on.
It's
I'm
been a
looking.
while, because I remember waiting a month before messaging you guys asking if you were ever going to
And
put
it's
out
been
another episode.
it's been like a month and a half since then.
March 28th was our last one. So it's almost 2 months.
Almost 2 months on the day, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, oh my God, that.
Well, no,
That's
March 28th was
unacceptable.
when the episode was released. How long was it since you recorded even before that?
Probably like 5 days.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been
Yeah, it's
2
been over
months.
2 months then. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yep. So unacceptable. I get it. We get it.
I am so sorry.
I wasn't happy about it. Wasn't.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, we could have had an episode turned around like 3 weeks ago, realistically, if I wasn't going on the trip that I was and I had planned for a long time.
Yeah.
So
and
we
I
had-
mean, we
we
would
had
have
some,
had a
like,
podcast
poor
2 months
timing.
ago if we didn't have like people leaving.
That's true. You're not wrong.
So I mean, I get it. Life gets in the way.
Yeah.
But Dan, we're glad to have you on board. And Jacques, why don't you talk about the trip that fucked us?
Yeah, so the trip that fucked us sideways. So
Yeah, no,
we
it really didn't.
yeah, so I have basically gone to the other side of the world. I went basically as far away from here as you can. I went to
California.
Yeah, to California. I went to Cali, hung out in the SoCal.
I went to Massachusetts.
So I went to Cambodia and Thailand for 3 weeks total. Well, it was over 3 weeks. It ended up being like 15 days because I went from middle of the week to middle of the week. That's the whole thing. But
that's 2 weeks, bro.
yeah, but it was over the duration of 3 weeks. I don't know. However you want to fucking describe it. But
Sorry.
It was a long time.
it was a long
Didn't mean
time.
to shoot you down there. Yeah.
No, that's okay. It's okay. Yeah. So there were a couple things that I really gleaned from that trip that I wanted to talk about. So one of the biggest standouts that I saw. So I stayed in a couple different like living conditions. So I stayed in like your typical like touristy hotels. I stayed in some like more rural but still like kind of touristy areas, and then I stayed in like completely rural like village compound type living. And one of the super interesting things about the three of them was the ubiquitous signage and propaganda that was present. So
like a good like World War II style propaganda.
yeah, like solid World War II propaganda style. So there were a lot of these blue signs for the Cambodian People's Party, which is the one-party democracy that they have in Cambodia, which is basically communism wearing the fucked up skin of a democracy.
Oh, that's always good.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So did you feel safe there?
No, I felt so safe. Yeah, and the signs were pretty interesting too, because they had all of these. So they had like the pictures of the two leaders, right? And then they had these works that like these grand works that they had under the signs that were like, look at all these massive highways that we've built and stuff. And they went around to all of their supporters and they installed these like giant aluminum canopies to all their houses to give them like extra functional space.
Well, they sound like nice guys.
No, totally nice. No, it's definitely not something that
But
a dictator would do.
Or someone that's
I feel like there's a
manipulating
big
you.
butt to this coming.
Yeah, well, the big
Yeah.
but is that anyone
I can
who,
smell it.
Yeah, anyone who runs against them, things happen to.
Oh.
And it's been that way for like 30 years, and it's like a pretty like established thing.
I don't understand what you're hinting at. You're gonna need to explain in gross detail. to me.
Basically, they murk people who run against them or make them disappear.
Define Merc.
Like, do you want
Isn't that
like
a
how they do
Pokemon?
it? I don't know.
Isn't like Merc a Pokemon, like the slimy one?
Is it?
I don't know.
There's so many
So-
Pokemon at this point. The fucking chandelier
So
one.
going there, I feel like it was just a slaughter of the senses, because you said it was super hot.
Dude, it was jarring.
You said that there was like, it was basically third world society, for part of it, right?
Yeah, so I've never seen a mixture of first and third world like it was there.
Would that be considered second world?
I think describing places as first, second, and third world is not politically correct anymore, actually.
Yeah, 'cause
Okay,
you
well,
guys are so well known for being politically.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm pretty sure I read that there's like a different structure now, and that because people like discriminating like third world countries. I don't know. Hold on, I think they use developing and developed, I think is what the terms that I saw being thrown
Okay.
around.
okay,
but-
where was this? Like the UN?
Yeah, basically. But I mean, in terms of like what is, the standard, we'll just say first and third world. And I mean, they have access to electricity in most places, but they don't have access to running water. So I think the major criteria, one of them's met, but the other one isn't. And also the power there is really weird. It's like, I don't know if it's the voltage or the amperage, or it might even be the frequency that it runs that just makes everything extremely hot and very inefficient. It's very strange.
That's not good. They need to work on the infrastructure. Since it's the Smallz Talk Podcast, what the poop hut smell like? Smell like poop?
No, I mean, the poop pot was okay.
The poop hut was okay?
Yeah,
That's good.
it was like a squatty potty, basically. So you pop a squat.
Oh, wow. So you can really take a good shit there.
Oh,
huh?
yeah, no, it's how God built you, They really connected,
yeah.
connected to Earth.
Slides right out your bumhole.
Yeah, so you
Nice.
get your asshole about 6 inches off the ground, and there's like this
And
little
then you pile drive it
you
right
pile
in there.
drive your shit, right? You don't even need to flush. So you basically shit in a hole, but it's like a little fixture that you shit into, and then you pour water into it, and it like dumps it somewhere, presumably further down into another hole.
A little bit further down the drinking river.
Right? Yeah, they put it upstream a little bit. That's why you needed the added pressure. Yeah.
Upstream.
Yeah, so it comes back down. You get double your pleasure, double your fun.
Right. Yeah. You want to get all the excess nutrients back.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Get it all in there.
Right. So what was like some of the crazier things other than the political party like that you saw that was like, okay, like that's not our culture, but I'll be okay with it because we're here.
So
you know what I mean?
One of the major modes of transportation there. So there's three types of transportation. So there's your traditional cars or SUVs or vans, right, that you'd see around here.
Cars, trucks, and SUVs.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's got the deal?
I don't know if they got deals. And I got to talk about the currency, too, because it's all fucked. So they have cars, trucks, automobiles, whatever. And then they have mopeds are like the most ubiquitous. Like there's fucking mopeds everywhere. And then they have modified mopeds that they call DTs. And they're different. There's a couple like different variations of them, but they're basically like wagons.
Tuk-tuk.
What?
Like a tuk-tuk?
Yeah. So they're like wagons that are attached to mopeds.
Huh.
Yeah, in various fashions.
Honestly, when I think of that area of the world, I think of mopeds.
Yeah,
like
no,
lot.
100%, dude. There are mopeds fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're...
That's probably just my American, I get most of my culture through movies. So,
no, but I mean, you're not wrong. Like, from being there, I can tell you, like, everyone has mopeds. It's like the most convenient form of transportation there.
Honestly, it's probably better for the environment. I'm for it.
Oh, dude,
I think we should
they
just switch
litter
mopeds.
like fucking crazy.
Really?
There's no centralized garbage disposal. So there's like, what the fuck are you gonna do with it? And the answer to that question is throw it into the environment.
Okay, that's not good.
Yeah, not
That is
ideal.
not good.
You
know what? I was actually weird though.
What?
I heard I was listening to a podcast the other day where it was talking about a book. I think it's called The Closing of the American Mind. And I thought this was super interesting because I've never heard this take on it, but basically our institutionalized education is making us too open-minded to where like, we can write things off as, well, it's another culture, so it's okay that they do that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they're littering, but it's another culture, so it's okay kind of thing.
Well,
which I thought was interesting. I'm not saying that's the case here. That was a podcast that I listened to.
No, I mean, that's an interesting point, but I'm just trying to like think about it in terms of like how I'm thinking. And my whole thing is like if there is no structure for them to do it properly, I can't fault people for doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
listen, where there's a will, there's a way. They can recycle, okay?
Yeah, but like if the government's not putting any type of infrastructure in place for them to utilize, then they're not going to utilize anything.
Do you know what happens to your trash when you throw it away?
Yeah, it goes to the dump.
I just eat it.
Do you understand the steps?
I'm a human garbage disposal, and I just consume everything.
I have the cleanest carbon footprint.
Yeah, dude. My trash is made of all biodegradable materials, and yep. And my trash goes to a place where they handle it properly, and everything is fine in this world. Okay.
Okay.
And
no, that's reasonable.
And they don't. Yeah, and I think it's unacceptable that they're just over there littering, and we're over here and not. It's a shame.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's things that hold you back, which was another thing that I had asked you when you came back. Like, oh, hey, like, you had a sense of, wow, these people really are stuck.
Right.
Like if someone says they're stuck here, it's like, no, you're fucking not. You're not stuck. You're in like a very, if you're sitting in your room playing video games and then someone's like, oh, I feel stuck. You're like, no, you're fucking not.
Right.
Unless like there's, your legs aren't working, then perhaps.
Right. Or even you hear that associated
all right,
with like.
At me next time.
Yeah, but you hear that with like urbanized areas too. Like you hear how there's not a lot of opportunities or whatever. At least I have, for various means. But being over there, I really saw and like witnessed what that means and how humans operate under conditions like that.
Yeah, because I mean, the psychology aspect of it is, I remember in psychology, one of the psychology courses that we took in college, the pyramid thing, where it's like you need your base layer of like food and water and all that, and then at the top there's like luxuries like career goals and stuff like that.
Right.
So if you don't have the basics, which it doesn't sound like they had the basics, at least 100% code, I guess you'd call it, to here.
See, that's the weird part where I'm like, it was a mix of first and third world, because they have some of the things, like they're developed enough to have access to, plenty of electricity. Like they have like refrigerators, and the people we were staying with had a washing machine. Like they had a clothes washing business. So they had access to some of the stuff that we would describe as baseline, and also some of the stuff that we would describe as luxury. Like, I don't think clothes washing machines aren't necessarily something that I would describe as 100% necessary to the human experience, right? Because I mean, you can wash clothes by hand.
I do.
No, you can wash clothes by hand, is what I'm saying. Like,
No, I agree.
and like, there are other things that I would put above a clothes washing machine for essential survival, right? You know what I mean?
Like clean running water.
Yeah, clean running water,
Or
stuff like that.
Xbox One X.
Yeah, Xbox
stuff
One
like
X, the best nick around, stuff like that.
Like good kush, bro.
Ray tracing technology on whatever the newest, GTX
GPU
is
is.
or whatever.
Right,
Yeah,
right. Like if I don't have my
exactly.
9700K, like get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
What am I doing?
Yeah.
I'd rather be dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
What was like the biggest culture shock for you, do you think?
The biggest culture shock. I would describe.
What'd you use for toilet paper? Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, they
Is
use
that a
water.
culture shock?
It's like a bidet system.
Oh,
Yeah.
was it nice?
I mean, I didn't use it. My digestive system shut down basically while I was traveling. And the couple times that I did use the bathroom, like when I like forced myself to go to the bathroom, I was at we were in like the city, and I would use like a civilized toilet.
Sorry, Dan. Yeah, your question. I interrupted there. Sorry.
Yeah, what was the biggest culture shock for you?
So culture shock wise, I think one of the biggest differences that I saw that is like a daily difference was that how they eat food and like how they like hang out. They hang out in like units, like family units.
Like cliques, bro?
Not like cliques, like they just hang out as a family, I guess you could say. Like everyone kind of
What?
hangs around
Family?
and eats, and they, help preparing all the food and stuff. And like we have that on like holidays and stuff here. But even our family units are smaller. Like we have like very nuclear families here where, it's like mom, dad, kids, occasionally, in-laws or grandparents. But
Right. Yeah. I mean, I definitely see my parents maybe once every week and a half, 2 weeks, and they don't live that far from me. So to hang out and eat with my family, I would feel like you run out of things to talk about, especially because it sounds like you're a little isolated out there.
Yeah. I mean, it was very interesting because another thing too, they eat every hour on the hour basically, and they don't eat huge
My
meals.
kind of trip.
Yeah. But they don't eat huge meals. They'll eat, they graze essentially.
My kind of trip.
Yeah. No, it was.
Yeah, and they're not feasting on super cheesy eggs in the morning.
Right.
And then,
Yeah, exactly.
You're not eating Five Guys on the hour every hour. Then get
Dude,
out
that'd
my
be
face.
life. What an
that brings
experience.
that would definitely make me stuck. If you want to talk about getting stuck,
A constant
Five
Five Guys
on the hour, dude. Oh my god.
I wonder how
After
many
I have a
hours.
Five Guys burgers.
How many hours in a
I
row?
just pass out.
Yeah, I wonder how many hours in a row I could do that before I died.
3.
Like, yeah, 3.
Yeah, it was probably three.
3.
Body just blows out your asshole, dude. All of it.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, so
you're crying like burger grease.
oh Jesus Christ, it's like sludge.
Ugh.
So that was a big culture shock because like I have the idea of like, oh, I have the perception that I'm pretty close to my family, but being close to my family to me means like my nuclear family, like my immediate family. Like I get along with all my aunts and uncles and cousins, but it's like a different connection. You know what I mean? But I feel like over there, the extended family is all one. You got like your cousins, your aunts, your uncles. Everyone that lives on that compound or nearby.
It's all one person.
Yeah, you're all super close. Yeah, it's all one person.
Yeah.
What is this, Alabama? Jesus.
And
Hey,
what was
hey.
your like favorite couple things there? Like top
Like experiences
Bathrooms.
or
no. Yeah, like top experiences or things that you saw, things that you liked that you did, food experiences, anything.
okay, so I guess starting from the top of that list, Thailand was fucking lit. Really like Thailand. Bangkok was cool.
Was there anything in Cambodia that you liked?
Yeah, I was getting there. It's a close second.
Okay.
But the trips were different. Like, and I can get into that. I think that's a little bit too minutia though. But the cool things that I saw in Cambodia, they have a lot of like ancient temples there, that were built like thousands of years ago, and they're fucking massive and really cool.
I like big stones.
Dude, is seriously, and just the construction and like thinking about how long it took to get these massive structures built, and just like the engineering behind it, like the stones, how they're all like interlaid, and they have this super intricate etching on a lot of the stones, just like in the hallways and in the soffits above and everything. It's very interesting, and I can't imagine how long it took to do. I can't imagine it was in one lifetime, so someone had to like pass their vision on to somebody else, and it was very cool. And they don't have a really good understanding of why they were built or like what they were used for in the beginning, which I thought was interesting.
Perhaps
Because it wasn't
housing
like well
or...
documented, or
Yeah, because it was like so long ago. Like they speculate about like what it was, like, oh, this is probably used for religious ceremonies, and things have been adapted. But there is some like depictions of things in the temples that they can't justify. Like they can't point to something and be like, that is what that is. You know what I mean? Like there's some sculptures, and there's some I don't want to say hieroglyphics, but that's not, because they're not hieroglyphics, but there's some like what appears to be writing and stuff that no one knows what it is.
It's probably just a brothel, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I feel
This
like
is where you get your dick sucked. This is
I feel like in the future, if we ever lose, I don't know, if there's some sort of extinction event and then we come back, and humans in the future are going to look at like, what the fuck is this? What the hell is a Best Buy? Like what is this shit?
where you buy
It's
the
just
best
like they're going
for.
to I just feel like they're going to overcomplicate it.
Right.
They're always going to think it's like this great, oh, maybe there was like electricity through here. Although, I mean, we would have that. But like, people talking about the pyramids being built by aliens. It's
Right.
like, nah, dude, just a bunch of dudes pushed a rock up a fucking slide.
Yeah, but I mean, I can see it, like just the grandeur associated with the pyramids that well, I don't even know if they're pyramids. Like I wouldn't classify it as a pyramid, but it was basically like one of them was kind of like a pyramid where it's a pyramid shape, and then there was like this this walkway up on the top, but the walkway was really cool because it was actually covered like by 360 degrees, but like by the way it was built, so you couldn't see. There was like thousands of people in the structure up on the top, and from the ground floor you couldn't see them.
Huh.
Yeah, and you couldn't see the base from the top. It was very strange, because you'd expect to be able to see from the top down from a structure like that, but you can't. It was very interesting, and I didn't realize it until I came out of the structure, because I went in and I was like, oh, there must not be a whole lot of people in there, because I don't see a whole lot of motion, but there was like 1,000 people in there, and you just can't see them because of the way it was built.
I think I severely underestimated how big this temple is. You said 1,000 people in there?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I think you do underestimate, because there were a couple that were massive. Like Angkor Wat is the main one, like the main tourist location, and that it's like a huge complex, and you have to walk like miles around this thing. But the one I was talking about, where you can't see anybody from the outside, was actually a different temple called Angkor Tut, I think, T-U-T.
Angkor Tut.
Angkor Tut, yeah. And
All right.
that's like a smaller one, but it was almost more interesting to me, because they have a bunch of faces and stuff like all over the place. And that's one where one of the ones where they just don't know like what the fuck was happening with this thing.
Dan, have you ever left the country?
Nope.
Not even to like Canada or anything?
No, I've been to like New England essentially. I'm not even positive if I've been to Maine, and then Florida.
How do you think Florida differs from Cambodia?
The temperature's about the same, let me tell you.
The amount of old white people is probably significantly different.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. True.
Because when I went to Florida, it's to visit my grandpa, who lives in an old person community.
Which is basically all of Florida.
Yeah, exactly. It's all just old people from New England. That's all Florida really is.
It's like home.
Yeah, but warm and gross and old. So, you know what I noticed is I don't think you posted anything on social media about you going to Cambodia.
No, I didn't, and that was kind of a conscious decision. I mean, I posted it on Snapchat to
my boy sending me snaps.
How am I supposed to know? How am I supposed to know
across the world?
What?
Oh my god!
You send me snap of my like key ring that you have.
Oh, I actually feel kind of bad
far?
about that because I had planned to take pictures and send it to you when I was like at the temples and be like, how far is your like? Is this as far? But I like totally forgot. So
it was cool. The one that you sent me, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you on about? Okay.
What do you want about, mate?
Mate?
What are you on about? Yeah, so what the fuck was I going to say?
Social media.
Sorry.
I didn't really send before I left.
Oh, yeah, great segue. All right. So, so conscious decision where you're just like, I don't want to post this?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted to make this experience, like, personal, I guess. And it was important for me to, I guess, kind of experience
did you go?
it.
Did it?
What?
But did you go? But like, how's anybody supposed to know?
Right, exactly. I could
like,
surprise bitch up in here all the fucking time.
Yeah. You tell me that you went, but let's be real. I haven't seen anything on social media, so I can't really believe it.
Yeah, and I mean, I also took a lot of pictures on my camera, and I'm in the process of editing the pictures now.
Oh yeah, how many photos have you edited?
How many have I edited? Like 4. Out of like, hold on, let me look here. I have like 20. I had like 20 gigs of raw files to go through
of just photos.
Yeah, well, so I have a weird photo system that I use. This is a little bit too much detail, but I think it's kind of cool. So my camera saves 2 file structures. It saves every image as a JPEG, and then also as a raw file, which is a CR2 file.
So that makes sense. Yep.
Yeah. So the CR2 files are fucking massive because it's not condensed at all or processed, and I do that so I can give pictures to Lita to post, or I could just like rip them off my camera because you can't just publish CR2 files.
Right, you can rip the JPEGs to post.
Right.
You have the raw files to actually edit.
Right, exactly. Because JPEGs have a little bit of information, but having the raw files is much nicer. So I don't know. I've been thinking about not doing that because it makes my fucking SD cards go away, and it also takes my camera forever to shoot a bunch of pictures. Like I'll shoot. I think it has like a RAM system, so it stashes when you shoot super fast. It stashes the image information away. But once you get to a certain point, the RAM must get filled, and it's just like, yo, you need to wait until you can take another picture. So if like you do a bunch of bursts, like one right after another, the camera will just essentially tell you to fuck off.
Do you think that has to do with like the SD card at all? Because I've seen ones that specifically are meant for like writing, like a lot of data in a quick period of time.
Yeah, so the SD card is definitely a limitation that exists. I have some cards that are faster than others, and that definitely does help. But I think at a certain point, I think your limitation doesn't. The limitation isn't the SD card. It becomes how much RAM you have essentially.
Of the camera or whatever.
Right, exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily writing to the SD card. It's just storing the information to write to the SD card while you're shooting other pictures, which is a weird problem to have, but I experienced it a few times. What was the original question, Zach?
I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let him go. I'll let him go on this tear because.
It was the whole. Is this all still going back to the conscious decision to not post pictures? Yeah.
Yeah, literally, it was like it went from like social media to like Linus Tech Tips in like
It was a quick,
No
it was
time
a
at
quick
all.
transition. That was good.
I was like, I'm gonna let him have it. I'm gonna let him have that one.
Let him eat.
Hopefully, whoops! I just kicked my desk. Hopefully, oh wait, I shouldn't have acknowledged that. Hopefully,
Now you got to cut 2 things out. Well, 3 things now that I just said it. Fuck.
shut the fuck up. You can tell we haven't done this in a while. So yeah, I don't know how that happened. Whatever.
Did
Hopefully,
I
there's
answer
some
your
tech
question?
nerds
I don't
and-
think I did.
No, it was like the most business way of getting around a question I've ever heard in
Well,
my
I
life.
basically I didn't want to take the energy to put it on social media and engage in social media in that way, and I wanted to make it personal.
Did you have service out there?
I did, but it was pretty limited.
Yeah.
Like I was able to load maybe like 2 or 3 Instagram things at a time.
Well, yeah, but there's actually a girl that I knew that actually just went to Cambodia too. But you know, she's got stories on top of stories,
Yeah, well-
pictures on top of pictures.
Yeah.
And I just personally think it's a little unacceptable for you to have not posted anything.
Well, she was
So
also
that's just my.
well, she also was doing it. So I was
I don't
like,
know what that means. Were
don't-
you
Yeah, no.
actually not there?
Jake's like, no, this whole thing was a VR headset this whole time. I didn't
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
go.
yeah, she brought the Oculus towers over, and I was just sitting
Yeah.
there in the headset. Yeah, no, but I mean, I think she did a pretty good job of social media coverage. Like, most of the people that I would want to interact with are also friends with her. So I thought, you know, she was doing
Friends
good
with who?
enough. And I also,
What are you
like,
talking about?
part of, like, the personalized thing, like, I shared some of the experiences with people on Snapchat, and people...
Wait, who are you talking about?
What?
Who are you talking about?
Who am I talking about? What?
You're saying she. Who are you talking about? She.
Lita.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, continue.
What? I'm so confused.
Lita, your girlfriend.
I think that
didn't.
Zach was talking about someone else.
Yeah. I was talking about like a friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Lita had
not-
posted a shit ton of stuff while there.
And I did see that. That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so bad about like not ever taking pictures and posting stuff, or even just taking pictures for like memories of myself. Like Ashley and I will go somewhere, and I will take like a single fucking picture, and then afterwards I'm like, wow, I have huge regrets for not taking any pictures. But at the same time, I just like the like living in the moment and not like living through your fucking camera or your phone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I
By
feel
the way,
that.
am I allowed to swear on this?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, okay.
No. Christian podcast.
This is a Christian server.
fuck.
Okay, maybe not that much. Let's keep it classy, all right? I think if you're living through a lens, people make their livings out of living through a lens, so that's not that bad. But I also, at the same time, know that my memory's not gonna last forever. So,
Right.
like, I forget shit in the fucking morning all the time. I'm just like, how do I get out of bed? And so I need to like, play tutorials.
Right. YouTube tutorial
whatever.
how to get out of bed.
How to get out of bed.
How to wipe
Like,
ass.
let's talk about actually what needs to be on YouTube and shit like that.
Right.
But anyway, so yeah, I always like to post. Plus, dude, how are you supposed to build up clout if you're not posting on Instagram?
Yeah, I mean, my Instagram game is incredibly weak. I'll go through like phases where I'll post like 4 pictures in a row over the course of like a week after I edit them, but outside of that, there's long swaths of time where I just don't do anything.
Right. And like, honestly, I've been a fan of the Instagram stories more than I have of posting on Instagram itself.
See, I never got into that. Never got into the stories.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe you're old school. Because I feel like when that first came out, when Instagram did that, I was like, oh, you shitheads,
definitely-
you totally took that
It was a big dick
from
move.
Snapchat. Yeah, I was like, wow, holy fuck, all right. Like, and I was like, this is nobody's gonna catch on to this. Nobody's gonna use that more than Snapchat.
Now it's pretty popular.
Popular thing now.
Yeah.
And now it's like, literally the most popular thing to post that, because I feel like it's faster, it's simpler, like it just, I don't know, it's good.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like
I have nothing against it, and like I don't judge people who use it. It's just something that I
Well, it just felt like
no,
that.
no,
it really
not
felt
at
like
all.
that.
It's just I don't it's not something that I've gotten into. Not saying that I'll never get into it. It's just
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's great. I keep saying honestly.
Like-
I'm being super honest today, guys. I've noticed that one of the like best features of it is that you just can see who sees it. And that gives you some sort of like confirmation that somebody saw your post. Whereas if you post normally, you have to receive likes in order to see that somebody actually paid attention to what you posted. Whereas like if you post a story, it just shows you who clicked on it, like how many people clicked on it. And sometimes I get dude, there's somebody that had like a couple 100,000 followers that viewed my story the other day. And I was like, I don't know you, but hey, thanks for stopping by. You know what I mean? Like it's cool to have known that.
Right.
So you don't have that sort of analytical tracking
Or
as you
could just
do
not
with a normal
care,
post.
like me.
Oh, don't act like you're fucking above me, bitch.
Oh, I am.
Get off your fucking
wow,
high horse.
man. Get off your fucking high horse, bro.
It's a scooter.
like to
it's not
post-
a horse. Okay.
Sorry.
Get off your steed.
And honestly, I just do. Fuck. If I say honestly one more time, this podcast is over.
It's honestly fucking with
done.
my head, honestly.
Honestly.
All right. So I'm gonna just go through and re-edit this podcast, and it's just me saying honestly every 2 seconds. Honestly.
One of the people I watched, Internet Historian, did that with the DashCon people from Tumblr when Tumblr did DashCon. And
What the hell is DashCon?
so it was like a convention, like a Tumblr convention that was held by some of the users. Remember the ball pit? That was a big meme. That was from DashCon.
DashCon? What is...
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
There's a ball pit?
Yeah, there was a ball pit. So I don't want to get into the whole fucking story, but basically,
You know what? Well, fuck
there
you. Okay?
were
Leave us in the dark.
So DashCon was basically, long story short, a convention held by some Tumblr users that wasn't sanctioned by Tumblr, and they used a bunch of copyright material, and a bunch of the people that they had asked to go all backed out, and the whole thing was a fucking disaster. There was a ball pit that somebody pissed in. That was like the highlight of the whole fucking event.
Oh my god.
And
So it's like any ball pit ever.
yeah, basically, it's just like a normal ball pit.
Okay.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
piss is just
yeah.
implied with every ball pit.
Yeah, I don't even have a bathroom at my house. I just have a ball
Right.
pit.
No, it's great. It's good for the environment and everything. And they did an apology panel at the end of it, right before it shut down. And they said he just cut together them saying the words "like," and it was like a minute and a half of them just saying like.
What is
over and over.
What do dashes have to do with Tumblr?
What
I don't-
DashCon? It has to do with like the dashboard for Tumblr.
Okay.
I think is what the reference is.
So this sounds like a weaker Fire Festival. Like
Yeah, I mean it was Fire Festival before Fire Festival was Fire Festival, you know.
yeah.
I think it happened before Fire Festival, but
it probably did. Fire Festival is actually like a relatively recent thing.
was it? I think wasn't it like 2017?
I thought it was older than that. I thought it was like 2015. But I mean, man, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old. It felt recent. Okay, I don't know. Maybe.
Oh yeah,
maybe it
2017.
wasn't. Oh, 2017. So actually a lot more recent than I thought
Yeah,
it was.
that's what I said.
So-
2017.
Yeah. Wow, they already made a documentary about
Oh,
that?
you haven't
Wow,
seen the
okay.
documentary?
No, I saw
Oh.
it. I did, but it was just like that was a quick turnaround. You know, that came out in 2018 and it happened in 2017.
Yeah, that
That's a pretty
documentary
quick
is real
turnaround.
good.
Yeah, it is real good. Recommended. It should be on Netflix, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was
Oh,
at
it
some
was.
point. I think it was a Netflix original actually.
Yeah, I think it was a Netflix. I think it's a Netflix original.
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, yeah. So, okay. So why were you telling us that? I'm sorry. I'm getting
Oh my
lost.
god, I
today.
don't fucking remember. What were we talking about?
Oh shit.
It's been so long.
And yeah, 2 months. It's been 2 months, and you know what that old saying, 2 months is 20 years, and you start losing your memory. But
I thought it was 3 months you lose your memory. Sorry, there are dogs now howling in the background,
oh,
and I'm monitoring.
should we pause? Let's pause for the great howl of 2019. And yeah, I'm not even gonna get. We don't have enough time to get into the topic of. Yeah, it's been 40 minutes. I don't think we have enough time to get into the dog, part. But
Good, because I feel attacked by that.
oh, you're gonna get You're gonna get attacked.
I can't tell if the
not
mic is
this
picking
week.
up their howling or not. I can't imagine
It's
that it's
not.
not.
I can't hear it.
I
You
can hear it.
Okay.
When you talk.
The
yeah,
Discord wasn't lighting up like I was talking, so all right. So around the 40-minute mark, you might want to start monitoring for dogs. or just leave it in.
So speaking of like Fire Festival and clout, I've been just noticing people, and I'm not calling anybody out, okay? I don't want anybody to get offended, but I've just been kind of noticing that like people are using things on Instagram to get a little bit of clout that perhaps morally shouldn't be the way that they should be using that thing. If that makes sense, you know?
Let's hear it.
Like, okay, well, fine. If you
provide
guys
an
want me to
example?
vent, hold on. Let me recline my chair and I'll vent to you guys about this.
You got your pipe around? Your tobacco pipe?
Oh, dude, a nice little stogie, dude. Yeah, that'd be nice. But wow, okay. Let's dive into it. I don't want to say it. All right, fine. Using your kid. No, using your fucking kid on Instagram. Okay? There's some people that do it, and I get it. I'm sure it comes from like
How does a
a
kid
lot
give
of
clout? What?
dude. Okay, see, that's the thing. Like, it wasn't because, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, if you posted your kid, and it might have to do with age, I guess, probably age group. So if you're like 19, 20 and you're posting about your kid, probably not going to get you that much clout. Probably like, oh, well, you know what? You probably should waited a little bit longer and maybe set up your life. I know everybody's in different situations at different times of their life, but generally, 19, 20, that is a big commitment for that age, right? Or is that just me?
Yeah,
No, it's a big commitment at any age.
correct.
Yeah, but I feel like you're more equipped to handle it in your later years of life.
Yeah, that's what
you know what I
you
mean.
think.
You'd think, you know. I mean,
Yeah, I feel
Anyway,
like that's the widely viewed point on that is what you're
Right.
saying. Yes.
and this might be a controversial topic, but I just feel like should you be posting pictures of your kids on social media all the time? That's a question I want to bring up.
No.
So, I see it as if you're a parent and you love your kids and that's your world. What's the difference from me posting pictures of my car because that's what I enjoy? Like, if anything, they have more of a reason to post pictures of this child that they created. I just don't see how it gives clout.
Because I feel like a lot of people, there's a lot of stupid things that give clout that shouldn't. Like buying a new car. Like, oh, just, bought this 30,000, 40,000, 60,000, whatever amount of vehicle. And like, I see that the response to that is like very positive because people use it to measure success in a way.
Mhm.
And it's usually not the case. It's usually you just took on a loan. And anybody that actually has money knows that unless you have a ridiculous amount more money in your bank account than that car costs, then it's just a bad investment. It's not even an investment. It's just a loss. So, like, if somebody buys a new, let's say, 2020 Audi RS, it doesn't matter, RS5, whatever, and you'll get a couple hundred likes on that. Oh my God, wow, you must be doing so well. And it's just like, no, bitch, they're not, okay? They're wasting their money. And you could make the argument that, life isn't 100% about being financially stable, and it's not. But we probably shouldn't be encouraging a society that just dumps a bunch of money into things that won't make you happy in the long run.
So by that logic,
I think that's,
you think they're posting about their kids, and they're instead of the car being the bad financial decision, it's the kids.
right? No,
You're calling children a bad
No.
financial decision.
no, that is
Because you are correct. But we're not
okay,
arguing
that went to
that
a place
you're wrong.
that I was not expecting.
But
No, that's not the point.
So I feel like you might be getting at the point that they're posting them in a reach for likes and maybe approval or something like that.
Yeah.
I just
Right,
don't
yeah,
agree with
thank
that.
you.
It's clout.
I think that's
Okay,
a definition.
well, we could
of clout,
argue-
though.
I think we could.
We're going to the
we
Google right now.
Oh fuck me.
going
We
to
could just
the
move on.
Machine,
We could just move
the
on.
tubes that carry data through
Alright.
the internet. Influence or power, especially in politics or business.
Right,
is
which are
clout.
likes on Instagram.
I don't.
I would argue that.
Okay. All right. Fine.
Because I don't know if you've heard the term, but people on Instagram that get a bunch of likes are called influencers.
Yeah.
I've heard that they're called Instagrammers.
Oh, okay.
Well, nobody says that. Nope.
Dan. That's
Hey, Zachary, are you having fun with your friends using the Instagrammers?
Yeah, Mom, I'm a social media influencer. Okay, honey, go to college. Yeah. So I don't know why I went off on the tangent of the car thing. I think it was just more so people reaching for likes, and that's the example I was trying to set. So thank you for verbalizing that, Jay. I just think, it's a kid, it's a human being, and taking a bunch of pictures of somebody and posting them. It's like if I had a celebrity friend and all I posted was pictures of that celebrity friend and me with that celebrity friend. It's like, how would that celebrity friend feel? He'd be like, come on.
I think,
quit using me for fucking likes.
Yeah, I think the thing with me is the likes, and also the fact that it's context, right? Like, so if you have an Instagram that went from cars, and so say it was the mom of the baby, right? And she went from posting thoughty type pictures and her car, that her Instagram was
Whoa.
a car.
Sorry, hold on. We have a lot of older listeners. Can you define thoughty?
Whorish for the older listeners.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah. Scandalous. I don't know. Whatever fucking word you want to use.
Naked people.
Yeah. So you go
Show
from that.
skin for attention.
Yeah. She was wearing some skirts above the ankle. You know what I mean?
Right. Listen, we're not slut shaming here. If you wear skirts above the ankle, it's okay.
Yeah. Just don't have the meat flaps hanging out. Oh,
what the fuck? All right, let's try. Might have to cut that one out.
That's probably a good call.
Okay, yeah.
Where the fuck was I going with that?
I don't know. I hope I can cut my joke out before you said meat flaps. That's all.
I mean, you could just mute. You could just beep meat flaps.
And then I'll just stumble over myself silently for a little bit, and they'll be like, "What the fuck was that?" Anyway,
so I remember where I was going with this. So it was about context. So their Instagram was, okay, I'm gonna do this thing because it's getting me likes and whatever. And then they switched it up on the same Instagram account, and it was just a baby, but she's still doing that other content as well. So I don't know. It's hard because I think if Instagram is not a reflection of somebody's actual life, but as of a life that they want to show other people. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, that's good.
So they're
hey,
projecting.
everything's fine in my life. Yeah.
Right. So she's choosing to project the baby in hopes of likes now instead of what they were doing before in a lot of examples.
But also, I know. But at the same time, it's I also understand, if you created this thing and you're super excited and happy about it and you just want to post about it all the time. Because people do that. People do that with dogs. They do that with everything. It's not just... Yeah.
Heavy breathing.
we have the number one committer of this crime on this podcast now, Dan. I don't think I have a grudge against that person at all. I just think it's not healthy to always be posting about something that, I don't know how to say this without being a dick. I just, as far as the kid goes, there's a consent thing to it where it's just there's a lot of fucking weirdos out on the internet, and maybe your Instagram's private, and that's good. It's just, I don't know. It was one of those. That's one of those.
And then arriving at the, oh shit, it's private.
It probably you can set your account to private, but that still doesn't mean that people aren't weird that you know. You know what I mean?
Right. You might have some pedophiles sneaking in.
Right. One of the. Oh my god. Fucking Christ. Now we're getting on this. Okay. I saw a meme earlier today about Scooby-Doo and how Scooby-Doo was really only trying to teach you that oftentimes the evil people are the people that are closest to you and people that you know, because every time they unmasked somebody, it was somebody that they knew, right? That's kind of the point I'm getting towards. But I just don't think buying a vehicle should not be, and posting pics of that should not be the number one thing on your list of things to do, just to get clout. If you work on that car or you modify that car, if you make it something great, then good. Like, that's an art piece. It turns into something that's a hobby. Your kid, you post every once in a while, big achievements and everything. Great. Yeah, so this, yeah. I mean, we could dive into that deeper, but I don't know. What are your opinions on it?
So for me, it's tough because I see Instagram and all like social media, like I said earlier, as a projection. So I don't know. It's just, it puts a weird taste in my mouth to see people using like little kids as, you know, that thing. But then you think about it in other ways, like dogs and stuff. Like people, is it any different than somebody using dogs?
Yeah, and that's where I tripped myself up, because I was like, well, you know, they post their pictures of their butts, their biceps, their abs,
right.
their, you know, you're like, okay, people post that all the time, and then people post their cars all the time, and I guess what at that point, what would even be okay to post?
Right.
And for me, I would say, okay, well, I'm a big core values dude. I'm like, you know, posting pictures of like your family having a good time at a special event, posting pictures of like achievements, or posting pictures of places that you really wanted to visit and you want to, you know, share with the world. But maybe it's a materialistic thing, even though like a kid's obviously not materialistic, but cheap. I don't want to say cheap, but if I go out and buy a new laptop and post a picture of it, and that's all I post a picture of for the next month is, you know, one picture a day of my laptop. It's just like, did you really work that hard for that? You know, I feel like there's got to be some sort of, and that's how I am with tattoos too. If you get a tattoo, I'm the kind of guy that's like, I really want to know that you got that tattoo and it has value to it. Whereas some people are like, get a tattoo, whatever you want, whenever you want. Fuck it, tattoos. It's tattoos. Right. And obviously that's just like that's a personal opinion thing. You know, that boils down to like culture and stuff.
They got to have purpose behind them for you.
Yeah, a real wholesome fella, you know?
Them wholesome family
really opinionated
values.
This is like a really opinionated podcast today. There are no facts in this shit at all. There's not really that much anyway, but hey Dan, how's you got any tattoos?
Yeah, I got 2 tattoos. I both got
really?
them this past year. So I got one, which was the 10th year anniversary of my father's passing date, tattooed on my ankle. So he passed away November 20th of 2008. And then at the same time, on one of my other ankles, I got Toby's tattoo, his paw print that they took when they put him down. They got like paw prints of him and everything. And so I had that traced as a tattoo. So both
they're wholesome.
meaningful tattoos, and they're both on my ankles, so they're covered up by socks. So like, no one has to see them if I don't want them to, you know.
Right.
Fuck, that was wholesome.
God damn, that was wholesome.
God, hit me in the feels. Yeah, and that's probably what I'll end up doing, is getting some sort of tattoo about my family, heritage, or members, or whatever, or, you know, loved ones, or something that, you know, I'm not young, but I'm not like old enough to say that I know my 100% core values that aren't going to change. There are some, but if I get a tattoo, I want it to be of something that represents me and not just a state that I'm in. So that's me. We're all people that don't post too much on social media, which is actually like not good for us as far as people that start businesses.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say, like my
I.
business, like I never post pictures. I'm so bad about it. I have to like consciously be like, I need to do this today.
Right. Yeah, there's been like when I had my gaming Instagram,
I saw
as well as
sorry to interrupt, but I saw the first ad for a gaming thing on Instagram the other day. Yeah.
Really? Dude, we get so many weird ads on Instagram.
Well, I remember you were advertising for certain stuff on Instagram, and your gaming channel was one of them, right? And
yes,
I remember one of my points while that was happening, while there were discussions about that, was like, I've never seen an ad for a gaming thing, but I did.
Well, hell yeah. That's what happens when your phone listens to everything you say.
Give me more gaming ads on Instagram. There we go.
Just like, you just hear like some scribbling in the background, or an elf runs out of your room. He's like, I know what I'm going to advertise now.
That's so
Yeah,
weird.
I don't know. It was actually really cool to see the responses you got from advertising, like paid advertisements on Instagram. And kids are dicks. Kids are shitheads, dude. That could be like a whole topic in itself. But like when you post something on social media, you just should expect criticism. Like, I feel bad about talking about some of these topics and just throwing my opinion out on kind of in a cold way. But at the same time, when you post shit on Instagram or Facebook or any social media, you're accepting the fact that there's going to be open criticism on that. And that's America. That's what makes us great, is the freedom of speech, bro. So, I don't know. It's something that's just needs to be taken in consideration. Like, most of the stuff that I post is always going to be lighthearted, comedic in ways, or, you know, something super interesting. I try to not be a basic bitch, essentially. I'm really on my high horse right now, but that's just how I post.
Hold on, let me sit back. I gotta look up at you.
Whoa, big boy, I can't see you
You
anymore.
got
up
some
there.
boogers in your nose. Looking up at you.
Blocking out the sun.
Bro. God, too many opinions in this podcast right now, but whatever.
What is life but not opinions?
Ah, great. Shakespeare.
What is
I like
opinion
that.
but not life?
What is love? Baby, don't hurt
Baby,
me.
don't hurt me.
Don't hurt me.
No more.
No more.
No more.
Well,
Yeah, those are tattoos.
mm-hmm. Guys, I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for the future. I think, Dan, I'm really glad to have you here.
Good to be here.
And hopefully we can, like, this is kind of a mumble podcast, but honestly, it just needs to happen. We need to get back on the ball here. So I'm glad that we got this done. Dan, glad to have you here. Jake, good to have you back from Cambodia.
Good to be back.
And this is probably going to be a bit of a short podcast, but I'm just really happy to be talking to everybody again. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Smallz Talk Podcast. If you guys have any suggestions, or if you're pissed off about my opinions, please, leave comments, message me privately, send me snail mail. If you're going to
Send
throw
letters to my
Molotovs at my house, yeah. Basically, yeah. All right, guys, this is Smallz Talk Podcast.